Hi there guys, Hyperia here, and welcome to my Tier 5 Raz Kingdom Dungeon Guide. Before we even touch the boss, we need to make sure we are going in prepared, so I've made a list of food and pets to make your life easier, taking down currently the hardest content in global Nino Kuni Cross Worlds, as of today, 16th of July 2022. First off, let's start with the pets. I don't expect currently people to have all the best pets available to them, but let's try and go over possible setups you could use to make it easier. So first and foremost, the best pet for Raz currently is Splisher. Now this little guy has a very neat active you can use to keep yourself alive far into this fight. What this little guy has is called Magical Clam, where you are able to remove the burn that the boss inflicts during the fight, saving yourself having to go to the pillars around the room. Now this may not sound much, but over the course of this fight, that is a lot of DPS that you are wasting on the boss. Now in second place is Hippocampus, currently the only super rare water pet and the highest current single target water familiar in the game. If you're unable to use either of these two pets though, just try to run with the highest attack water familiar out and having such pets like Crowhawk for its 5% passive buff in your setup. Now for Splisher to be useful though, we have to actually set up our auto AI in a way so that it doesn't use the actives on command, and then we can use it when we want to. So first, go down to the bottom of UI and click and hold down your finger or mouse button over auto until you see a toolbar pop up. We then click on the auto skill settings and click on Splisher to deactivate the on use. You can do this with multiple spells, not just Splisher itself, but personally I have Blink and Splisher off cooldown. Now what this does is when you want to use it, you press Control 3, Control 2 or Control 1 depending where your pet is, and it will use it when you want to. Next up, to be prepared, we need to have as much attack as possible from food buffs. By now your kingdom should have unlocked most of the early feasts and crit accuracy food. You can stack multiple different types of food, but you are not able to stack superior versions of themselves. Just from food, you should be able to get at least 1.5 to maybe around 2k extra attack, which can equate to about 15% or more DPS based on what you have eaten. Also, if you're able to, grab the theatre buffs as this also adds to the power creep. For Kingdom leaders, if you are able to, grab Water's Blessing from Kingdom Lab to help improve your chances. When it comes to parties, you want to try and spread as many classes as possible in each group. Take advantage of the class buffs that they give, such as the Rogue attack buff, the Engineer's basic skill cooldown buff, and Witch's attack speed and crit damage buff. Now make sure each player has a different aura to bring as well, such as HP aura, defense aura, speed aura, and attack aura. Now you can find these if you go into click your party and go into view party skill. From here you can see each buff that each party member brings, and you can swap around based on what you need. Now for the actual fight, you'll most likely have your best DPS tanking the boss most of the fight. A big issue with Kingdom players dying in this fight is generally down to how the focused target moves. So the boss has 5 main moves before his enrage in P2, and then adds one more and empowers a second move. So for starters, his first ability is a frontal slash that hits the ground around him at a 180-degree angle, so your raid must position themselves in a way and not to be in front of the boss. His second ability, he throws discs out from him from a north, south, east and west direction. They will go far and come back, so remember to avoid them on the way back. Third ability is a simple charge, as you can just see there. Now his next move is probably the most difficult to survive in this fight. The boss starts casting around him a giant nova that hits anyone inside. In P2, this is even harder due to the fact he casts his AoE in closed circle, so this is why Splisher is generally a very good pet. As you can see here, I make good use of my Witch's ability Blink to dodge the damage and the burn inflicted. This is why you have your specific defensives off cooldown. So in this room there are 4 pillars that can be destroyed temporarily to remove anyone within a certain area's burn debuff. You want to organise when you want to destroy these and make sure the tank does not tank the boss on top of it to cleave it down accidentally. because you're going to need these when the players of Splishers have burn on them. Now remember, most of the boss's abilities here apply burn. The discs, the AoE, the encircle, they all apply it if you get hit by it. This is basically the core mechanic of this fight. It sounds easy, but everything in this fight can basically one-shot you if you are not above 60% health. So remember, the more that you die in this fight, the longer the respawns, making it harder and harder to kill this over time. So what we had was our main tank stand near the pillars and move around only after we killed each one. We tried to keep the movement minimal, as it really disrupts DPS over the long run. It's better to really learn how to dodge the abilities than it is to constantly run around the room with them. Now, the boss has some nasty combos or patterns during this fight, especially in Rage 2, so I'm just going to go over with you a few examples of what he does that can really kill you. These can include an AoE circle enclosed where you take damage if you touch it. Now these can be really deceiving, as the hitbox of it is actually larger than it shows and can also hit you for about 1 second after it despawns. You can technically jump over these, but it's probably safer to just wait until they despawn. Usually when he does his AoE encircle, he will also cast his giant AoE attack. This is where you really need to pop cooldowns to survive, or a defensive pet, or an engineer healing circle. Now, in phase 2, when he enrages, he has another nasty combo, where he charges and then adds his newest ability. This ability is called Backflip, where after he charges, he will do a backflip and hit any unsuspecting player chasing after him. It can be dodged, but it has a very wide range circle, so you should just wait after the charge to see if he does it. Now, remember those discs in P1? Well, yep. In P2, he doesn't do 4 anymore, he does 6, so you even have less room to dodge. And generally, he does his charge after the discs, so you have to be careful of when they come back, because they might not be in the same place as they originally were. So, good luck to all those trying to kill Tier 5 Raz for the first time, and if you like this guide, let me know in the comments what you think, so I can make future ones. Well, thank you.